Al-Qaeda and its best-known leader, bin Laden, would not exist without the help of the United States, which created them for use against the USSR in Afghanistan, and which continues to support them until this day. At various times, the U.S. Special Forces have been bin Laden's valets. The State Department has acted as his defense counsel and his travel bureau, and the CIA has furnished his public relations advisors and his preferred health plan. The British government has acted as his human resources department to recruit new personnel. That's from Al-Qaeda, the CIA's Arab Legion, in 9/11 Synthetic Terror Made in the USA by Webster Griffin Tarpley. Good book. I'd like to remind you of my radio show, which airs Fridays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, on blogtalkradio.com/the Stench of Truth, all one word. That's Fridays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. May 20th, my guest is Solaris Blue Raven, who will be talking about mind control technologies, electronic harassment, and her experiences and investigation into these areas. So join us if you will. I want to remind you also that the archives for the show are available. If you go to my webpage at blogtalkradio.com/the Stench of Truth, you'll see a link to iTunes. The archives are on iTunes, and you can download past shows, and you can listen to them streaming as well. So just a reminder that there is access to the shows in archive, so you can go to the page and find that. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth here on YouTube. I want to take full responsibility for my initial assessment over the Japanese earthquake and tsunami and the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant disaster over there. My initial assessment was that this was overblown hype and anti-nuclear hysteria, and I'm fully ready to say that I was clearly wrong on this issue. New information coming out has indicated that reactor number 1 at Fukushima did go into meltdown within 1 day of the earthquake, and this has been kept secret, probably through the efforts of TEPCO and the corporate influence in the Japanese government. And the other two of the 1, 2, and 3 reactors may in fact be in full meltdown as well. We're seeing a spread of radiation, radioactive material, including plutonium and some other very deadly elements in relation to this, and it's turning out to be a very major calamity over there. And it can also spread to other areas. And it truly is an immense disaster, and a lot worse than I had originally thought it was. So I'm fully willing to accept that I was wrong on that, and to come here and tell you this. I want to clarify a few points on the nuclear industry as it stands and my stance on it. I have always made it clear that I viewed nuclear power as merely a transitional power source until alternative and cleaner energy sources can be brought online to make up for nuclear power's contribution to our power grid in this country. But considering the nature of affairs and what actually happens with the nuclear industry is that the corporations that build these plants are heavily subsidized by governments, okay, which I'm not necessarily against as long as there is true oversight, regulation, and accountability that goes along with that. And what we have today with the fascist, corporate-dominated governments in the United States and in Japan is that there is no regulation and there is no oversight. And the bottom line for corporations is always profit. So if there's a human life and profit, the human life is forfeit. Plain and simple. No corporation will make a decision to reduce profits to reduce the loss of human lives. It's a simple, sad fucking fact, but it's reality. And because of this situation and because of my rethinking on this, I think that building new nuclear power plants would be a mistake under the current system. That does not take away from the fact that I do believe, in actuality, that newer nuclear power plants, newer designs, are inherently safer. And if there was real regulation and real oversight and all of the safety measures were enacted and there was not this profit at the cost of human life mentality when constructing these power plants, that it would not necessarily be a bad thing to enact new nuclear power plants for energy production. However, that is not the case. So therefore, I'm for looking at other means of energy generation, and I frankly do not know what that is, but we cannot have the industry that is willing to murder people to increase their bottom line regulating themselves. It's as simple as that, and that's what we have in effect, whether it's a corporation self-regulating or whether it's the government being in charge because the corporations run the governments. Simple. That's the bottom line. So there you have it.